Hello traders, Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com, June the 8th, 2025. In this edition of your weekend video newsletter, we'll discuss the indices. S&P just shy of 6,000, a formidable resistance level for the week ahead, leaving us with 15 bullish indicators, 4 neutral and 1 bearish. Most of the stocks below in the IBD 50 list, new highs, and the Scooter stock chart's technical rank look good for a follow-through this week. Despite the demise in Tesla, the other 9 components of the New York FANG index, with the 9 and 21 day full-on bullish above the 50 and 200 day, the 50 and 200 day bull crossed last week, with RSI showing muscle, strength of trend is persistent. Did make a new 3-month high. However, we did see Bollinger Bands contracting, so we could consolidate again this week, just shy of 600. If we get above 600, most likely we'll see RSI pointing higher, and we will not have a bearish divergence like we had back in February, and could look for a follow-through in the short term. If we fall back into that range, look for a retest of 585 and 590 this week. The Qs are showing a very similar pattern, with Bollinger Bands turning inward, suggesting that we could see some more consolidation below all-time highs that was set back on February 19th at 540. RSI is pointing higher, so there's no divergence here yet, making higher lows. With IWM small caps doing something similar, it did make a new 3-month high, and RSI is making higher lows and higher highs. As a reminder, I do have an iron condor on IWM that expires in July. We are pushing a bit higher. I'll most likely roll the upper strikes a bit higher north of this pivot at 230 if we continue to move higher this week. Finally, we always want to check the New York Stock Exchange, 2,000 stocks on the composite above the zero line in the upper panel. Advanced decline is about to make a new all-time high, while the indices proceed towards a triple top, potentially over the next couple of weeks. In addition, we have a green signal on VIX. As long as that keeps dropping and this stays green, we're bullish in the short term, with the VIX also making a 3-month low. Breadth is bullish across the S&P, the mid caps, the small caps, and the NASDAQ in descending order, with the Zweig breadth thrust indicator having triggered 6 weeks ago on Thursday, leaving us with a bullish follow-through potential, similar to the previous signal back in 2023 that led to a near 2,000 point rise thereafter. While the NAMO, the NASDAQ McClellan oscillator, is bullish, we can see that the summation index has turned back up and full-on bullish for tech stocks in the short term. Taken overall, this gives us 15 bullish indicators to start the week, with only 4 neutral and 1 bearish. The 1 bearish being the 6,000 level and extended rally with Bollinger Bands turning back in. 15 bullish, 4 neutral, and 1 bearish to start the week. Junk bonds are giving us a neutral to bullish signal just below its flat 200-day moving average, above the 50-day with RSI above 50 as well, moving sideways. With high yield corporate making higher highs and higher lows, looks a little better than junk bonds, above its 9, 21, 50, and 200-day moving averages. This is bullish for equities. At the same time, the 10-year yield popped last week on Thursday, bouncing off the 50-day moving average. We really need this to cool off if you're bullish equities. In addition, the US dollar remains below the 100 level, hanging out right around 99, triple bottom, basing, if you will, while gold does pretty much the same thing, just below recent highs. Silver breaking out, however, as Bollinger Bands expand, RSI rising, volume picking up on Thursday and Friday. MACD and stochastics are bullish. I wouldn't be chasing it up here. If it does pull back similar to what it did to start the week, I might be interested in a long for a 1 or 2 day swing. And of course, with the dollar remaining down below 100, gasoline and Brent crude are managing to move back to the top of their range. Brent crude back above the 50-day moving average with RSI, MACD and stochastics rising, Bollinger Bands tight. We could get a little pop back towards the 200-day moving average and still be in a descending channel with commodities rising as well. We want to make sure that commodities don't get too aggressive. We'd be bullish if this stays down here near the 200-day moving average, and somewhat bearish if this starts to catapult back towards 22 or 23. Overall, bonds, currencies, and commodities are neutral at the present time. S&P 500 sectors are mostly bullish. Nearly all sectors are above their 20 and 50-day moving averages, with the exception of consumer staples sitting on top of its 21-day moving average in addition to utilities. That would lead me to believe consumer discretionary is outperforming consumer staples. And in this case, that's bullish for equities as the momentum continues to turn more bullish and the sector indicators are turning upward. This leaves us with small cap sectors all above their 20 and 50-day moving averages, except for consumer staples and utilities, both at or below the 50-day moving average. Overall sectors are bullish going into this week. As previously mentioned, these stocks below look good for a follow-through with 15 bullish indicators, 4 neutral, and 1 bearish to start the week. Allegheny Technologies continues its path higher, 20 and 50-day bullish and looking for a follow-through this week. AGX also breaking to new highs along with Affirm. Axon Enterprises also making new highs. Celestica basing at highs. Looks like it might follow through this week. Cloudflare was active last week with Comfort Systems also making new highs. Remember, we're looking for a cup and handle pattern on CoreWeave. I think long term this is probably going to do very well. Dycom also pushing higher along with Dave and Duolingo. The latter in a sideways range, looking for consolidation and then a break higher. If it does pull back towards the 50-day, that would be a better entry. Dutch Brothers looking very bullish, following its bullish 21-day moving average. MCore Group also making new highs. A new one on the IBD 50. Kinska Pharmaceuticals, KNSA, pushing off of its 20-day moving average, breaking above this range through 28 last week. Hims and Hers basing looks like it could push higher this week as well. LPLA also looking very strong. Lemonade new on the IBD 50. That one broke out on Friday after a brief flag to start the week. Look for that to continue as well. Netflix, Nvidia, looking for those to keep trending. Palantir looking for a decision maybe this week. Look for a break above 135 or a push back down towards the 50-day moving average at 110. Quanta, Power, looking for a follow-through. Remitly Global, pushing off the 50-day. That could follow through as well. Roblox was very active over the last several weeks. Many of you traded that, along with Rhythm Pharmaceuticals, looking for a push higher. Rocket Labs new on the IBD 50. That looks like it could break out as well. Root Insurance making a nice push on Friday. You can see all of these stocks look very bullish going into the week. TSSI, One that Mondo's been mentioning over the last few weeks, last few months, a smaller version of Super Micro. Looking for the latter to break out as well. Toast, back above the 21-day moving average. TMDX also breaking higher, along with Zscaler continuing its bullish breakout that started a week ago. Many of these stocks in cyan are from the stock chart's technical rank. They look like they'll most likely follow through this week, so make sure you check those out as well. I don't want to belabor this week's video because my son's birthday is today. I'm going to cut it short. So that's going to do it for me. This is Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com. It is Sunday, the 8th of June, 2025. I'll send out a watch list later tonight around 12 midnight on the East Coast, around 9 o'clock on the West Coast. Be sure to check your inbox for that. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy birthday to my son Antoine. I'll see you in the morning. Ciao.